As we expand our perspectives, we start realizing, wait a minute, maybe the way I've been seeing the world is only one perspective.
And that's why I do the show, to open up people's perspectives on things that they might have never been exposed to, like these kind of conversations.
Well, and it starts to become an epiphany for people because they start realizing, what a coincidence. The things that I don't like about myself are the things that I judge in everybody else.
Very true.
So we attract everything we judge until we no longer judge everything we attract. And then you start realizing that this world is not a world of materialism. It's a world of mentalism. And this world of mentalism is directly tied to our experience and perception with and of it. You know, we were just talking about what the bleep do we know, right? And I was with Joe Dispenza last week when he came to Southern California, and so I got to meet him and talk to him briefly in the VIP room just before he went out on the stage. And it's so fascinating because I remember when I first saw What the Bleep Do We Know, I think it was probably 2009 when I saw it. And it had a profound impact on me because I started realizing that the way I was observing the world around me was actually impacting what I was observing. So there's a part of What the Bleep Do We Know, which you might remember, which has the double slit phenomenon embedded within it. Right? The double slit phenomenon is an experiment that shows that particles, what we think of as particles and materiality, can actually operate as waves of potentiality. And they can jump back and forth between waves or particles. Now, we have this in number theory as well. You could take a number like 7, and in its particle form, it would just be 7. It's a discrete value. But if you take 1 over 7, it's 0.142857, and those 6 digits repeat infinitely like a wave. 142857, 142857. It's a sine cosine distribution, right? So even numbers themselves have this property of being both infinite and discrete. It's simply a function of a mirror of 1 over x. So with this, it means that when we observe something, if we can abstain from judging it immediately, it can still remain in this realm of potentiality. It could be a lot of things. I'll give you an example. Let's bring this down to something practical. Okay. What's the worst thing that ever happened to you, Alex?
I almost made a $20 million movie with a mobster.
Okay. So you almost made a $20 million movie with a mobster. Well, I guess you could have said, hey, but it's going to be about the mafia, right? Who knows, right? I mean, you got a PhD and potentially making a movie, but the way you said that, I almost made a $20 million movie with a mobster. Now, why did you say almost?
Because I didn't finish it. It never happened.
Okay, so now as you look back on that, do you consider that really a bad thing or potentially one of the best things that ever happened to you?
Oh, it absolutely is the best thing that ever happened to me. But also at the same time, the worst thing, one of the worst things that ever happened to me, but it is the catalyst for what I do every day, trying to help people because of what I went through and having my life threatened and destroying my dreams and being close to my dream and destroying my dream. It's a whole thing. So yeah, it is the best and the worst thing that ever happened to me. So it could live both at the exact same time.
So this is fascinating because when it was happening in time, how many years ago was this for you?
Ooh, almost 20.
So you were probably like crapping your pants every day, right? Because like you don't want to like get in bed with the mob because if it doesn't work out for you, you might end up with a horse head in your bed, right? It's like one of those type deals.
Sure.
Okay. And I'm sure you got scared and you probably had a lot of fear at that time, right? Is that fair?
Oh, yeah.
But now you look back on it and you're like, wow, that defined in large part what I've since become.
Yes.
That it really had a huge impact on who you are and what you do today and how you spend your time. So now you probably look back on that experience and say, wow, I'm so glad I did that or I had that experience because I learned so much from it. Now, I can tell you right now, I don't even remember the names of the teachers in my high schools and junior high who did not push me and did not challenge me and did not give me a hard time.
Right.
I only remember the ones who pushed me, the ones who believed in me more than I believed in myself, and who actually put me through hell at the time. But now I look back on those teachers, not even being able to remember the other names of the other teachers who were easy on me. And I remember those that had the huge impact on my life and say, I'm so grateful that I had that teacher because I learned this from that particular teacher. And in the end, while he was really tough on me, I learned the most. So I just had this experience on Friday last week where Cal State Fullerton honored me with this lifetime achievement recognition in leadership and entrepreneurship. And I was trying to think about what I was going to talk about for this speech, right? Because I've given university commencement speeches and that stuff I did at Chapman University 10 years ago as well. And I took that as an opportunity to speak about all my failures. And so probably midway through my talk 10 years ago when I gave that speech at Chapman, everyone was probably thinking, why'd they get this guy? This is depressing. He just told all about his failures. I mean, what a loser, right? And then I cut the speech and I said, look, at this point, you're probably wondering, what the heck? Why did the university choose this clown to give this speech? And I said, well, the good news is if all else fails, is an undergraduate class, right? That was just graduating. If all else fails, you can always go back to MBA school, right?
Right.
So basically everyone laughed. And I said, the reason I'm telling you about all my failures is because every one of those failures led to my greatest successes. And I am just as grateful for the failures and the challenges as I am for the successes, in many ways more so. So I gave a similar speech this last Friday, because I was, obviously there to thank family and friends and, all the people that helped get me there. And if I've gotten anywhere, like Isaac Newton said, it's been standing on the shoulders of giants and all that. By the way, most people don't know that when Newton said that, he was actually cutting down one of his colleagues who's only like 4'7". And so he was kind of an asshole. People didn't really know that. And they all think, oh, what a humble statement. It's all about perspective, right? It's all about perspective. And so I looked at it and I said, my life has been a series of wonderful successes and even more wonderful failures. And the failures have defined me and set me on a path that I could never, ever regret them having occurred.
To watch the full video, click on the link below. And don't forget to subscribe.